I'm very happy to be here, and like many of the alumni sitting here, I consider the year I spent at Columbia one of the most seminal of my life. Even when I was working as a reporter in California or Latin America or Texas, my J-School classmates were among some of my best friends. Should I start over? No, I'm not going to. Even when I was working as a reporter in California, Latin America, or Texas, my J-School classmates were among some of my best friends. I'm sure a lot of you can say. Throughout the years, J-School grads were my bosses, my colleagues, my competitors. I was evaluated by them, I learned from them, I attended their weddings, their kids' bar mitzvahs, and their book parties. Some of them came to my weddings, both of them. But in all my years of running around as a reporter, I never really stopped to think about what the school needed from me. In my short time in this role as alumni director, I have been humbled and inspired by some of the alumni I've met here who have given so much to the school. And this next award winner is a prime example. Orlans Mayer never stopped thinking about the J-School. She was in the class of 1952 and part of a group that called itself the Gang of Six, a core group of New Yorkers in that class who used to meet together periodically. As you can see from her bio, she was a reporter in the early years of television. But always, she has been active with the school, having helped organize numerous scholarships and benefit dinners, among other things. And that's why today she's receiving the Founders Award, which are given to alumni who have demonstrated support for the mission of the journalism school and to the education of the next generation of journalists. She's an inspiration to all of us. Please help me in congratulating Eve.
Let's make sure first that you can hear me, because I've been heard for a long time. I'm not going to stop now. I was a lousy investigative reporter. I never found out who selected me for this award, which has made me incredibly happy. That's not exactly the truth. I really didn't try hard enough. In my very varied career, I worked for some years at universities and colleges, this one among them for a short time. In my mid-20s, I was at NYU, disseminating news from several colleges and divisions. Graduate and undergraduate arts and science, easy. Public administration, easy. College of dentistry, like pulling teeth. But the Institute for Higher Mathematics, like Wayne, I was a 24-year-old kid from Brooklyn. They had all worked on the atom bomb. One day, a call, Eve, from the director of the Institute of Higher Mathematics. Come on over next Thursday for wine and birthday cake. Oh, a colleague's birthday? Just come. When I heard that, I smelled something, and I began to poke around. One thing I learned was that you always poke. You don't rely on administrators or deans, not at this school, of course, but at other universities to give you news. And so I was prepared on that day. I came into a room charged with exploding IQs, with a wall of some 15 or 20 feet covered from floor to ceiling in an ominous black mainframe. Hushed silence, glasses raised. A button was pushed, and I had my perfect little story for the next day's New York Times, decades and decades ago. They had programmed UNIVAC to sing Happy Birthday to itself. And so you poke, and you roam, and you meet. NYU didn't have much of a campus, but I became friends with faculty, with administrators, and with students. And at all the universities, I knew who was photogenic and who was articulate when media called. I also knew who was cold and who needed a winter coat, and who was hungry. A favorite student came to me one day. "Eve, I didn't want to bother you, but I don't know what to do. I only have a little bit of rice left to eat." Just a little bit of rice. Folks, it's not just tuition and scholarships. It's rice and winter coats. And I don't know whether your philanthropy comes from your conscience or a sense of guilt or a feeling of community. Mine was a legacy of my upbringing. I awakened every New Year's Day to find my father sitting at his desk writing checks in a great big ledger. Anybody old enough to remember those great big checks? It was before end of the year requests, before planned giving, before daily harassment and barrages of letters asking. My father didn't wait to be asked. He knew of need, or he anticipated need, and he shared. Small checks, moderate checks, we weren't rich, but he shared. And so, in a few years, there will be an endowed scholarship in this school in memory of my father. A.S. Orlans. A.S. Orlans, immigrant, scholar, engineer, certified public accountant, political writer in Hebrew. In this school, in the journalism school, thanks to my husband Sid, who is Columbia College and Columbia School of Business. The many, many years of my devotion, really, to this school fed me psychically and brought me great joy. The very, very lucky happenstance of falling into the class of '52 was extraordinary because the class was extraordinary. We were the very first ones ever to start an endowed scholarship at the school. And as far as I know, we have the most money in that scholarship. We were only 62 or 63 who graduated. The only class in the history of the school to receive an alumni journalism award in the aggregate, the Alumni Journalism Award to the class of '52. We each received a certificate. That was 28 years ago. Many, many more ands and many more stories. But I think my and is a thank you now to all of you, to my husband, my sons, my daughter-in-law, my grandchildren, one of whom flew in from London last night to be here and is returning tomorrow morning, to my classmates and my friends. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for coming today to wish me a happy birthday. Tomorrow, I will be 85 years old.
I have another announcement for Eve. In honor of Eve's award and her birthday tomorrow. Can you hear me? In honor of Eve's birthday and the receipt of her award today, the men in Eve's family have started generously contributing to a fund for an endowment in her father's name. Happy birthday, Eve. Thank you to your family.